I don't usually talk about this, but something happened when I was in high school, and I still think about it. It made me question what's real, what's human, and whether we're ever truly alone. This is the night that changed my beliefs about the paranormal forever. Back then, I lived in South Africa in a narrow 3-story house. The living room was on the second floor, no wall between it and the kitchen. And right next to it was a balcony overlooking the yard. Whenever family came to visit, I gave up my bed and slept on the couch. Actually, 2 L-shaped couches that I pushed together into a little fortress. The backrests made it feel safe and enclosed, like nothing could get me in there. One night, I was drifting, that space between sleep and dreaming, when I heard a sound. A sound from the balcony. At first, I thought it was the creepy crawly. That's what we call the pool vacuum. It makes slurping noises as it climbs up the wall. But this wasn't that. This was whispering. At first, I wasn't scared. I was just confused. The sound was so constant, whispering without breath or pause. And as I focused, I realized it wasn't just noise, it was language. Harsh, wet syllables, horrible guttural sounds, squelches and rumbles, like someone was choking on the words they were speaking. It reminded me of something I'd hear years later, in the exorcism tapes of Anneliese Michel.
Ich verbrech das so, dass ich in dem Wald rein bin. Ich trag dir die Rotznase noch so lang, bis es lebt wird. Für uns geht's kein Zurück. Nee, in alle Ewigkeit.
But this was worse, less human. The voice was high-pitched, almost feminine, but distorted. I was still more curious than afraid, leaning in, wondering what the hell it was. But then a second voice joined in. And everything in me recoiled. It was deeper, slower, and far more present. It spoke just a few words, like a question, but it felt heavy, like the air thickened when it spoke, like the floor beneath me vibrated. And then the first voice shrieked back, loud vowels stretched like they were being torn. It was furious. The second voice replied, not louder but heavier. And then they were fighting. Growling, barking, snarling in a way that barely sounded like speech at all. It was animalistic, rabid, 2 creatures arguing in a language that was never meant to be heard by human ears. And then silence. Not peaceful silence. Not the kind that calms you. This was targeted and sudden. They had sensed me. I didn't move, didn't breathe. I was under the blankets, but I could feel their attention, like cold eyes staring from the dark. I'd never felt terror like this in my life. I screamed. For my mom, my brother, I didn't care if I woke the whole household. I needed someone near me. My mom checked the place. Nothing. No footprints, no signs of entry, nothing. Just me. My brother stayed with me that night, and thank God he did. I still remember the way that language sounded. I'm familiar with every South African dialect, and this wasn't one of them. It wasn't even close. Something spoke to something else outside that balcony. And I heard it. I don't know what they were, I don't know what they were saying, but I know one thing for sure. They didn't want me to hear them, and when I did, they hated me for it. Have you ever had an experience with the paranormal, or something you couldn't logically explain? If you have, leave it down in the comments below. It's always nice to know that I'm not alone. And remember, stay safe.